Good Sunday morning and welcome into the Sports Source. We've got a packed show today. We have a lot of SEC talk, just like last week. This week we're going to focus on the Southeastern Conference coaches. Last week it was the teams, this week the coaches. We're also going to take a look at the future. Whose stock would you buy in the SEC right now if you're looking 10 years down the road? All this, of course, leading into SEC Media Days tomorrow. Football season is officially here. Let's go ahead and get started with today's show. First segment brought to you by our good friends at Nova Copy. For small or large business owners, Benny Malacote and his team are the folks to call when it comes to improving your workflow, reducing your monthly expenses, making your business just flat more efficient. Grow your business by calling Nova Copy. Grow your business. Who doesn't want to do that? Get a free check from Nova Copy. Give them a call. They'll come over, take a look, give you a proposal. You don't like it? Don't cost nothing. Nova Copy can save you money. Trust me. All right. Want to welcome in the panel. A little odd seating arrangements today. We have from the Knoxville News Sentinel Mike Strange over there in his Sports Source shirt. Next to him, Bob Hodge, who's freelance contributor to the Knoxville News Sentinel in his Sports Source shirt.
Hey.
Chuck Cavaliers from Tennessee Golf Central, not wearing his Sports Source shirt today. Let's go ahead and just talk a little bit before we get into the coaching stuff about Tennessee's recruiting. On Thursday, another legacy Vol picked Tennessee as his school of the future. Five-star defensive tackle Khalil McKenzie, the son of Reggie, the nephew of Raleigh, and a huge star at this week's overhyped Nike camp out in Oregon. He picked Tennessee over Arizona. The recruiting service 24/7 has him ranked as a top 10 player nationally. Rivals.com, if you take a look at their national top 10, there's Khalil, but look at Tennessee right there, number 5 in the nation. Again, guys, Butch Jones just keeps on rolling.
So, I mean, I think it's a fantastic pickup from for Butch Jones, and I'm tired of people picking on these legacy guys just a little bit. Tennessee has had a good run with Butch Jones getting the legacy players, and some people are dinging him for that. Well, what's he supposed to do? You've got a 5-star player, top 10 nationally, son of one of Tennessee's, the McKenzie brothers, well thought of in Knoxville, and you're supposed to say, well, he didn't have to do anything to get him. No, I think he went out, he fought for him, he got him. I think it is a great pickup, and he's the kind of kid, doesn't mean he can play, and he's not going to be here for another year, but he is the kind of kid that Tennessee has gotten back when they were at the top of the standings in SEC, top nationally. That's the kind of defensive lineman they were getting.
Yeah, I mean, you can almost go back to like a Reggie White type recruit to me, and somebody at a position.
Not to put too much hype on this kid.
But at a position of need. I mean, you're desperate. You don't have any depth really. You're replacing all your offensive and defensive linemen, and this guy could probably start right away from everything that's been saying about it. Yeah. I mean, I don't. And here's the other thing too: if you still had Derek Dooley as your head coach, you would be missing out on some of these guys.
That's right. I agree with Bob on the legacy thing. I mean, how do you count off against that? I mean, here's the thing: judging by how good the players were in the '90s. Next decade, there may be some really, really good legacy balls coming to Tennessee. Some good genes there. Your thoughts on where they are recruiting?
Yeah, this legacy thing, I don't, there's been Tennessee players having kids grow up for years. This is nothing new, but I don't remember anything like this glut of them coming to Tennessee right now. And to speak to what you said, this kid grew up in California. I mean, he didn't grow up in Knoxville. That's tough to get him to come all the way across the continent.
Well, plus he also spent time in Green Bay.
It's a great gift for Tennessee.
And I also, just one more thing, and I may be wrong about this, y'all can correct me, but is that probably not the best defensive line pickup Tennessee's had since Albert Haynesworth?
Oh, yeah. I mean, and you even think maybe about John Henderson. Same type of, yes, definitely.
So you're talking 14, 15 years.
Yeah, in terms of him stepping in right in next year and starting, I do think it's interesting. Give a little credit to Brent Hubbs and VolQuest. They had a nice point over the week, or last week, over the Khalil McKenzie thing, just reminding people about this freshman class that's coming in. That Haynesworth, as a freshman, as great as he was, made 11 tackles as a freshman.
Yeah.
So
tough as a freshman.
Exactly. So all this hype about the freshman class, that's a good point to keep in mind. So, VolQuest, you owe me money for that pitch. Another recruiting story here: 4-star defensive end Andrew Butcher got into a Twitter war with Alabama fans. Now, Butcher's already committed to Tennessee, kid from Georgia. He got into a Twitter war with Alabama fans, adults arguing with a teenager, while watching coverage of the Nike camp where Khalil McKenzie was playing. He saw several Alabama commits come up and try to shove Khalil, in his words, after a play. And he said that got him heated, so he tweeted, "I can't wait to beat Alabama's butt," he didn't say butt, "with my boys." He then told, and let's go ahead and get the graphic up there, told the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, "Just believing you can beat Alabama is half the battle because people are just scared of them. I respect Alabama, but I'm not scared of them. I'm ready for the rivalry." Now, normally, I would be opposed to anybody popping off, especially a high school kid, about Alabama. I'm not upset by this because I think Tennessee needs it. I think Tennessee needs it. You disagree?
No, you stole exactly what I was going to say. I'm like you. We talk about this a lot, that don't like the trash talking, don't like all this stuff. But in this case, yes, this seems like a kid that's coming in. He's confident. He's happy to be at Tennessee. He's looking forward to being at Tennessee. And I do not have any problem. I have more of a problem with the adults that get angry at 18-year-old kids that say things like that.
The Alabama fans got on him, and then the Tennessee fans went back at the Alabama fans. Thoughts on what he said? Anybody have a problem with it?
When I first heard this, I didn't have the background on why he said it. Now that you explain, Alabama guys pushing, ganging up on Khalil McKenzie, now that there's a little context to it, I feel a little better about why he was.
Yeah, and it was a one-on-one blocking drill, and he just bull rushed the Alabama commitment and just pushed him back, and the helmet goes flying. And then the Alabama commitments there jumped in, and that's what the Butcher kid was saying. Hey, I wish I was there. So you don't want that to become habit forming. You don't want it to become something you're doing. But I really liked it. I think it's great.
Well, I mean, again, there's no need to go tug on Superman's cape, and right now Alabama's Superman. But this kid's not going to be in a position to beat Alabama for a couple of years. I mean, I don't think Tennessee's going to be the top threat to Alabama next year. So let's say this kid's sophomore year, maybe then he's getting to the flow. To me, it's off season at a time when Tennessee fans are longing to feel like we're making progress. You keep signing good recruiting classes. You keep getting big commitments, and now your guys are starting to get confident. I'll pass on ripping a kid for being.
But I'll guarantee you, in 3 years, when he's a sophomore and allowed to talk to the media, Alabama week, this will be discussed. It's not going away.
Yeah, probably so. And it'll be discussed on Twitter by Alabama fans whenever they beat Tennessee.
Well, just let that red team talk all they want to.
Oh Lord, don't go down that road. All right, here we go. How do we rank the coaches in the SEC West? We'll talk about that next. We're going to rank the East. We're going to look at football futures. How do we rank the West coaches? Come on back on the Sports Source.